All right, welcome all of you. Let me share the presentation. Just give me 1 second. Let me know once you guys are able to see my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Nitin.
All right. Okay, so today we are going to be covering a very basic introduction to Workday. This for some of you already have researched and you already know what exactly Workday is and why do you want to move into Workday. Some of you might not have full information about Workday, just know that Workday is right now hot in the market and you want to make a switch to this. And today I'm going to explain you more detailed introduction into what exactly Workday is and why you should move into Workday. Like I said, I'll give you today's agenda. I'll give you an introduction to Workday. We'll discuss what are some of the key product areas in Workday, some of the benefits of Workday, and then implementation areas. To get started, so what do you know about Workday to begin with? Like any of you can give me some like what do you know right now about what exactly is Workday? What does it do?
It's a cloud-based solution as a service,
Mhm.
software as a service solution.
Yeah, and
And mainly used in HR,
mhm.
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
the
right.
only. Yes.
All right. So Workday is an open source cloud HR and finance management system. So it's basically a cloud ERP. ERP meaning Enterprise Resource Planning System. So basically, an ERP, every company will require an ERP to manage their enterprise. Now there are multiple types of ERP systems. For example, if it's a production company, you will have certain systems to manage your production. That is an ERP software. Similarly, for different industries, they will have industry specific ERPs. However, every one of these industries will always have an HR department to manage their resources. Resources meaning employees. So they will have an HR and finance system. Every company will require it regardless of the industry. And Workday is a cloud-based ERP, meaning you don't have to maintain any on-premise servers. Some of you who are coming from an ERP background like PeopleSoft or like SAP, you might be already aware that SAP and PeopleSoft. These are I don't call it completely legacy, but at this point it is slowly moving into a legacy kind of a software. When I say legacy, old, it is getting old. So SAP and PeopleSoft, these were on-premise systems, meaning when you have to implement a PeopleSoft system for your company, when you want to implement SAP, you have to first purchase like these big servers and get it installed in your office location first, and then once the servers are installed and configured, then you will implement SAP and PeopleSoft into for your company. And as your company grows, let's say your company was like 20,000 people, and you implemented maybe one server. Over a period of time, let's say maybe after 3 years, the population increased to 150. Now, to accommodate that new population, you have to again purchase additional servers. You have to maintain those additional server rooms and the networking professionals who will make sure these servers are always online. So that was how the ERP softwares used to be implemented in the past, where you will have everything on premise and it will be controlled within your company. Now with cloud revolution, and there are a lot of cloud companies coming online. Workday is a cloud system, meaning you will not need to maintain any kind of a server within your office. Basically, you can, like we are talking, right? We can basically use our browser to log into the system, and the cloud, the servers are maintained in AWS, meaning Amazon Web Services. So we will have all the company data and the configurations for Workday maintained on an AWS elsewhere. and you can basically easily browse and easily log into the system using just a web browser. Now, with this, what happened is there is a lot of cost that is getting reduced, meaning companies need not purchase any kind of a server and they can grow as they go. Meaning, today there are 5,000 employees, and if they grow exponentially, maybe in the next 1 year they became 50,000 employees. They can accommodate that population, meaning you don't have to purchase additional servers to increase or downsize your company's population. It will automatically increase and decrease. So that's one benefit of Workday. And second benefit is that since it is a cloud ERP software, now any kind of an update can it is automatically pushed into Workday. Now, if we talk about softwares that are on premise like SAP or PeopleSoft, all the legacy software, let's say you need to make any kind of an update to the software, an update to this ERP system, you'll have to manually do those updates for each of these companies. Meaning, let's say there are 5 companies who are currently using the legacy SAP system. They are currently using SAP as their software. Now, when there is an HRSP update, basically it's a HRSP update, meaning it's an update to the existing software ERP system. The consultants will have to look at the new update, and they have to manually configure those updates into the tenant or into the system. That is for SAP. Whereas in Workday will centrally manage these updates for all its Workday customers. So basically, it will automatically push any kind of updates, any kind of service updates directly into the Workday system, so that the Workday customers, they don't have to maintain their tenants, or they don't have to maintain their systems to make sure they're up to date. Workday automatically does a lot of these services and maintenance activities for them. So because of all this, and one of the other main advantages, cost effectiveness. So you in other systems like SAP and PeopleSoft and other legacy softwares, there is a lot of upfront overhead, meaning there is a lot of upfront cost that is incurred when you want to implement that. Whereas comparing that to Workday, there is less cost overhead because you will basically pay per employee. So Workday is a subscription basis. If you have some experience using any kind of a SaaS software, it is basically like a subscription. Like many of you use Netflix, right? Netflix is a subscription model. You subscribe to Netflix and then you can watch movies. The entire catalog of movies that is available in Netflix. Similarly, Workday is also like a SaaS software. You subscribe to it. The subscription charges will depend upon the number of employees you have. So today you have less 500 employees, you will just be paying for that 500 employees. And tomorrow, if you have 5,000 employees, you'll be paying for only those 5,000 employees. The CEO of Workday is Dave Duffield. He's a former founder and CEO of PeopleSoft. So David was the person who founded PeopleSoft. Later, PeopleSoft got acquired by Oracle, and now in the year 2008 he started Workday. So okay, they started somewhere around 2005 2006, but they launched in full-fledged mode in the year 2008. So that's a very basic introduction to Workday for those who don't know what exactly Workday is. That was in summary, this is what Workday does, and this is what Workday is. The finance and HR system, which is a cloud HR system, and companies use Workday to manage their employee life cycle using the system. Any questions in the slide? Yes, Inzamam, you have a question?
Yes. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you for the introduction. I'm just wondering, when you say it's a finance and HR system, right? Based on the previous session we had, I was able to grasp what you mean by HR. But when it comes to finance, do you mean what constitutes of finance? Is it the payroll?
Yeah. So finance meaning finance management. You will maintain the accounts, you will maintain the ledgers and balances. So that's the finance system. So when you are running a company, you have to also maintain the finances, right? You have to do your taxes, and there are a lot of other financials that you have to manage. You will be paying the employees. Where will you log those transactions and those cash in, cash out? So all that comes under finance. So Workday does both HR and finance. Meaning in HR you'll have the entire and we'll talk more about what exactly constitutes within HR and finance. But then finance is just for managing finance, and HR constitutes the entire HCM and along with all the other advanced modules within Workday. Yeah. All right. So, like we mentioned, Workday is a configurable software as a service solution. So, what do you mean? What does it mean by configurable software as a service solution? So, basically, uh, if you for learning Workday, or if you are a Workday consultant, it doesn't mean that you will be doing any kind of a software coding. It doesn't involve uh, any kind of writing code. It is a configurable system, meaning um, whatever features you have in Workday is already there within Workday. All you have to know is what are those features and how to use it, and how to configure the system for your client. Now, let's say there are like 100 features that are delivered by Workday, meaning Workday provides these 100 features available to you. Now, not every client will require these 100 features. Some clients might require all 100. Some clients might just need 50 of those features. Some clients might really not need those 50. They want to hide those features. So different clients will have different requirements when it comes to Workday, whereas Workday provides all these features available to all the customers. Now, as a consultant, it is your responsibility to understand your client needs and configure the system according to your client needs. Meaning you will customize the Workday system according to what your client requires. So that's why it is called as a configurable software as a service solution. When it comes to PeopleSoft and it comes to all the other legacy ERP software, even those are configurable systems. However, you also have an option to customize those systems using coding. For example, if it is SAP, you have something called as ABAP, which can be used for customizing the existing, customizing the system. Even in PeopleSoft, you can also do code level customization. However, in Workday, there is no option for you to do any kind of customization. In the sense of you cannot do any kind of custom coding within Workday. Anything that you will be doing in Workday is already available in Workday. If it is not available in Workday, you will not be able to configure it. However, there are a lot of features that are more than enough features that are available in Workday, and then most of the clients who use Workday are able to utilize these existing features, and those features are enough for them to run their HR systems. It helps organize staff pay and develop global workforce by establishing global consistency. Now, what this is, you can deploy Workday anywhere in the world. Since it is a cloud ERP system, you don't. Let's say your client is a big company with a presence in like 150 countries. You don't have to maintain a single server, meaning you don't like how it happened in legacy times. You don't have to maintain different physical servers in different locations. You can have your HR folks distributed across the globe, and they will be able to access Workday from their browsers. So basically, it's like decentralized. You can access from anywhere. You can work from anywhere. So Workday, and this helps in organizing staff, pay, and develop global workforce. Meaning, you can hire employees into Workday. You can set up their recruitment processes. You can set up their hiring processes, and you can standardize this. Meaning, The entire process of hiring an employee will be standard across the globe. You can form a global processes. You can configure global systems, meaning it will be standardized across all the employees that you hire for that particular client. So there is a lot of standardizations that you can do within Workday, and it will be enforced for employees who are even from different countries. So there is a lot of features that are available which we will discuss as we move forward. And it's a unified human resources and talent management solution. When I say unified, it's like one system for everything. So within Workday, there are a lot of capabilities. There are a lot of additional advanced modules that is available within Workday. So let's say today you implemented Workday, and tomorrow you also want to implement absence management for your the customer who is currently paying for Workday HCM. They also want a system to manage absence management. They also want a system to manage their recruitment processes. Now, in Workday, there are different modules that are available. Like there is Workday recruitment, there is Workday time tracking, there is Workday absence management. Now, the customer can choose to subscribe to these additional modules, and they can use all these different modules within Workday. So it's a one unified human resources and talent management system. So there are multiple modules that are available, and you can choose the customer can choose to use those modules, or they can choose not to use those modules. But based on what they are choosing, they will be paying a subscription fee, and they might not, if they are not using, they need not pay that particular subscription. But if they choose to do it, it is all within Workday. You don't have to integrate, or you don't have to use any third-party application. You just need to log into Workday, and then you can start using the system for different functionalities. This platform enables you to embrace changes by providing workflows and operational insights. Workday has very excellent reporting capabilities, so you can create multiple. There are multiple delivered reports within Workday. There are a lot of dashboards that are available for the HR. So you can easily look at the analytics, your people analytics, your workforce analytics within those the delivered Workday reports. You can also customize your custom reports within Workday to analyze those analytics within the system. So that's a very brief intro about what Workday is. Now talking about unified global applications. Now Workday provides excellent reporting capabilities, meaning you get all the actionable insights, you get what is happening in your organization. The HRs are well aware of what kind of what activities are being handled, meaning how many employees are joining, how many are leaving, what is the attrition rate, what is the current like what is the breakdown, like how many employees are male, how many employees are female, we have employees from how many countries. So there are a lot of reports that are available within Workday which can provide the Workday customers with actionable insights. It's a unified and global cloud application, meaning there is a lot of advanced modules that are available, and everything is available within within the Workday system. Agility, meaning the speed at which you can implement. So you can implement Workday. The fastest implementation that I've seen is like 1-2 months. So you can easily start configuring systems, and you can go live with Workday even in less than 2 months. Traditionally, before any kind of ERP implementation used to go on for maybe 1.5 year, but now it is not the case with Workday being very easy to configure and very easy to deploy, and there are systems and templates that are available within Workday that makes it more easy for customers to get started with using Workday. The speed of implementation is very fast. You can easily go ahead and configure systems for Workday. So there is an agility aspect to it. The user interface. One of the main selling points of Workday is its user interface. It has a very beautiful and very intuitive user interface, so that the users, the employees who are using Workday, it's very easy for them to navigate. It's very easy for them to get used to the Workday's navigation and how it is and to find things to use just to get started with using Workday. The navigation is very easy. The user interface is very intuitive. So that is also an additional selling point that a lot of Fortune 500 companies have started using Workday. Any questions until now? Am I going too fast? Are you able to keep up with my speed, or do you want me to slow down?
Nikhil, hi. Tehreem.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, just so I personally use success factors in my organization, which is actually on par with Workday.
Yeah.
So then, is there any difference between the two, or it's
Yes, there is a lot of difference, and I have used success factors as well.
okay.
So you will see, I mean, conceptually, when it comes to a function, when you look at it from a functionality perspective, you will see a lot of similarities between success factors and Workday from a functionality perspective. When I say functionality, like the number of modules, like even success factors has very good recruitment module. Even Workday has a good recruitment module. Similarly, there might be a lot of architecture level functionalities, meaning how the system architecture is set up in Workday. You will see some similarities between Workday as well as SuccessFactors. However, the UI is quite different for SuccessFactors when you compare it with Workday. So I feel like Workday has a better user interface compared to SuccessFactors. So, but then it will be easy for you to follow through Workday because you have some experience in SuccessFactors. So a lot of the way the objects and the way the system's backend is set up, the design is kind of similar for SuccessFactors and Workday. So good to know that you have some background in SuccessFactors. But I'm curious to know why do you want to switch from SuccessFactors to Workday?
No, I don't work. I use it as an employee. Actually, my brother is a Workday professional. So he's very insistent that I move
Okay.
careers. Yeah.
All right. I thought you are a success factor consultant and want to.
No. I use it as a user actually.
Anyone have any other questions? So if anyone have questions, you can just raise your hand and I will be able to see that. So then I can, I don't have to keep on checking with you that if you have a question, you just have to raise your hand and then I'll call you out during the discussion. Okay. All right. Now let us discuss about some of the key product areas of Workday. Now, like I mentioned, Workday is a total HR suite, meaning uh, there are there is a lot of functionalities and capabilities that are available within Workday. However, these capabilities are divided into different modules. We call it modules in Workday. So there is a core HCM. HCM is Human Capital Management, which is the core module in Workday, and that stands as a central, meaning or if you want to implement Workday, you have to first implement core HCM. That becomes the central and the core of the system. Now, any other module or any other additional capability or additional advanced module that you want to apply or you want to configure, it is optional. Meaning, only if there is a use case for the customer, they can opt for that module and then they can opt to pay for that module. Now there are multiple advanced modules within Workday, like as you can see in this, as you can see here, you have Workday recruitment. So basically, Workday recruitment deals with recruitment of employees. So you can configure the Workday system, Workday recruitment for creating job vacancies. You can post these job vacancies in different websites. Like you can post it in your company website. They can post it on different job websites like LinkedIn. They can post it on Indeed.com, Naukri.com, and it is easy to manage this. Meaning, let's say a candidate applies to these jobs on these websites, you will be able to easily get those jobs from those websites into your Workday system, and the recruiters in your company or the recruiters in your customer's company, Workday customer's company, they can easily process these applications and they can interview the candidates, they can initiate the offer letters. So all this capability is available within Workday, and this module is called as Workday Recruitment Module. It is a separate module within Workday. So once you implement Human Capital Management, which is the core HCM, you can choose to, some customers choose to implement these additional modules based on what they require or what they don't require. If they don't require a recruiting module, they can choose not to implement that module and they can still use Workday system. Okay. Now next is we have talent management. So talent management is also another HCM key product area. So basically, this relates to the talent management of the employees, in the sense like the skills. What is the current skills of the employee? If you want to do any kind of talent reviews, saying what is the performance reviews that happens in your company every year, there is some performance review. How that happens, all that can be managed using talent management. So if you want to do any kind of a calibration, a talent calibration, there are different features that are available within Workday for this, and all that will be part of talent management. Next is time tracking module. So time tracking is basically, let's say I'm not sure how many of you have worked for a consulting firm. So different firms have different way of tracking time. Certain companies will not be tracking your time, meaning they have allotted that okay, you will be required to work 8 hours in a day and for 5 days a week, and that is like expected of you, meaning you will be anyway working those times. You will not be tracking that time. However, if you're working for, let's say, a consulting company where you have to also charge the hours. So if you're a consulting, if you're a service provider company, you might be working for a different customer or a different client. So you will be providing your consulting services to a client. So you will also have to show like how many hours you have worked for that particular client. So you need to track that time. Okay, so some people who have come from a service provider background, you might be aware of this. You'll be charging your time against certain projects. So time tracking will provide these functionalities and capabilities and these features within Workday. Also, if you are like, let's say, a manufacturing firm, and your employees have to track the number of hours they have been working in that in a particular day. So some employees, the time they log in, so the clock in, clock out time, the time they went for a lunch, the time they got back from lunch, all this need to be tracked. Now, some manufacturing industries, they do track these kind of schedules. So Workday's time tracking module will provide you with all these features and the capabilities where you can do time tracking for the employees. Benefits administration. So benefit is basically your the company's providing benefit programs for their employees. So benefit programs are nothing but those insurance plans, healthcare plans, savings plans. So these kind of different benefits that are offered by companies to their employees can be configured as well within Workday, and it can be managed. So you can configure these different healthcare plans, different insurance plans, and all those. For if it's a US company, you have this 401k savings plans. All this can be configured within Workday system, and you can also integrate this with the service providers. So let's say there is an insurance company like a Cigna, Aetna. So there are different insurance providers. You can configure these with Workday, meaning you can integrate it with these insurance providers. So if an employee enrolls for this program from Workday, it will automatically send the enrollment information from Workday to this third-party insurance software insurance system. So you can closely integrate Workday with these third-party insurance providers as well. So all this is configured using Workday benefits module. So benefits is where you will configure the benefits administration of your company for your employees. You have project management and workforce management. You have planning and analysis. So basically, you have workforce planning capabilities within Workday. You have payroll solutions. meaning you can also run Workday payroll for countries from Workday. You can run the payroll for the employees that the client has hired. Now, one caveat with Workday payroll is Workday currently only supports payroll for 5 countries, basically US, UK, Canada, Spain, and now as of 2023 second quarter, last quarter, like they recently introduced Australia as one of the countries that they support for payroll. So currently, Workday only has 5 countries for whom they support payroll. So most customers, especially those who are global customers, they use Workday payroll for only those employees who are within these countries. For employees who are outside of these countries, they usually integrate it with the third party payroll system. So Workday also has very excellent integration with third party systems. And if you already have a third party system that you are currently using, for example, um, and anything as a matter of fact, for example, if you have a third party software with which you are doing recruitment, you don't have to use Workday recruitment. Rather, you can integrate that system with Workday. So any kind of recruitment activities that happen in that system, you can send the data from that system into Workday system as well. So we also have good integration capabilities um, in Workday. And if you want, you can also use the modules that are available in Workday. You can choose not to use it, and if you have any third-party software, you can integrate it with Workday as well. So these are some of the HCM key product areas in Workday. Now, going forward in this particular session or the coming sessions or this entire course, we will only be focusing primarily on human capital management, which is the core. So for anyone to get started in Workday, or for any customer to get started or get to implement Workday, they have to first implement human capital system, which is basically HCM. That forms the core of Workday. So even if you want to learn Workday, you have to first get started with HCM, which forms the core, and then you can specialize in one of these modules. So let's say you learned HCM and then you want to specialize yourself as a recruitment consultant. You can learn Workday recruitment. But in order for you to understand Workday recruitment, you have to first understand HCM as well. So this entire course will be focused on the fundamentals of the basics and all the concepts that are related to human capital management, which is the core HCM module of Workday. Any questions? Okay. Now let us discuss some of these key product areas in detail. So we have big data analytics. Now, like I said, Workday provides you with excellent reporting capabilities, meaning you can, for all the configs or all the data that you have within your Workday, you can extract reports and you can do analysis using those reports. So Workday provides you with good reporting capabilities and help the customers doing a lot of analysis using those reports. So HR and finance folks that are using Workday can extract these existing reports. They can also configure their custom reports within Workday and do the analysis and understand the data. Workday recruitment. We already spoke about Workday recruitment. How the Workday provides you with this module called as Workday recruiting, which will help you with performing or using the recruitment capabilities within Workday. So if you want to hire an employee who is not currently part of your organization, like an external candidate, you can start inviting applications. You can create vacancy and you can post these vacancies outside of Workday in your career sites like LinkedIn and other job portals, and you can attract applications and start hiring employees for your jobs. Workday's talent management helps you to align, assess, and reward and develop your workforce. So you can see what is the skill gaps. You can plan reskilling of your employees, and so there are a lot of talent capabilities. All that is managed using Workday's talent management system. You have, like we discussed, the time tracking reduces the labor cost, compliance risk, and increases the worker productivity. Basically, the time and absence, meaning if the employees want to take a time off, like want to take a leave, how they can book leave. So every company will have a finite number of leaves that they offer the employees. Maybe they can only take 8 hours of they can take maybe 20 days of leave within a year. So then that will be given as a quota to the employees. Now employees can use maybe 2 days every month. So basically you can configure that absence and time tracking module to ensure that how many days of leaves are provided to the employees, how many they take, how many of those leaves they can carry over to the next year. So all that can be configured in the time tracking and absence module. You have Workday project management, which is not very widely used, but certain companies do use Workday project management. You have benefits administration, like to manage the company benefits that is provided to the employees of that company. You have workforce planning and analytics. Basically, you also have Prism Analytics. Basically, you can extract. Now there is data that is available within Workday. You can also extract Workday from any third-party system into Workday and then use it for reporting as well. So that comes under Prism Analytics. And then you also have the HCM part of it, that is Human Capital Management, which is the core of the Workday module. Now let us any questions until now? All right. I think we have already discussed, but then these are some of the benefits of Workday HCM. So you have a complete understanding of your workforce. So basically, using different reports, you will be able to see easily understand like what is the current status quo of your workforce. You can understand the entire people cost, including the contingent workforce. So how many employees are there? How many of those employees are contingent workers? Basically contractors. You can view those within Workday. Um, it also empowers workforce and business leaders through self-service. So Workday is a very transactional system, meaning before what used to happen, any kind of a change to the HR system. So basically, let's say you are a manager and you want to promote one of your employees. You will not be able to do that yourself. You'll have to raise a request to make that update in the HR system. So one of your employees, like you have a team, you are a manager, and then you have a team of 10 people. So you want to promote one of them as from an junior admin to a senior admin, let's suppose. You will not be able to do that yourself if you are using some traditional ERP software. But when it comes to Workday, Workday provides the self-service capability, so the managers can initiate a promotion. Managers can themselves go into Workday tenant and promote the employees and make them senior admin. It's very easy for the manager to do that themselves. So it empowers the leaders and the managers to do self-service. It empowers the employees to do their self-services, like an employee can go to the Workday system and update their personal information. Like let's say they got married recently, they can go and update their marital status as married from single. So it provides a lot of self-service capabilities, and what can be done or what cannot be done using self-service can also be managed and also be controlled by the administration admins of Workday. So it provides a lot of capabilities when it comes to security as well, like who can access what, who should not be accessing what. So all these capabilities are also available within the Workday system. Easily configure the system for your specific business needs. So, like I said, Workday is a very highly configurable system, meaning everything that you need to configure is also available within the tenant. And we call this Workday system as the tenant. And we will be speaking a bit more about this in the upcoming session. Now you can configure the Workday tenant as per your requirements. So like I said initially, there might be 100 features available, but if your client only needs 20 of them, you can easily configure just those 20 of them and discard the others. So it's not mandatory for you to use Workday's every single feature. It depends upon the client's requirement, like which one you want to use, which one you don't want to use. So this gives like an overview of all the modules within Workday and what are the different services that is available. So it's a multi-tenant system, meaning um, now an instance of Workday. Um, you will have something called as a tenant in Workday. So a tenant is a Workday system, and you can have multiple tenants, meaning you can have multiple instances of the same system. Like you will have a tenant for just for employees. Then if you want to do any kind of testing, you can have a different tenant where you can log in, which will be a copy of the actual live tenant. So we'll discuss more about what is multi-tenancy, what is integration cloud, what is the secure. We'll discuss the security aspect of Workday, all this during the upcoming sessions. But um, this should be today's session should give you like a basic introduction about what exactly is Workday and what are some of the basic features and some of the modules that are available in Workday. Now these are the different types of industries that use Workday, like banking, healthcare. Healthcare is very famous. Basically, there are a lot of healthcare clients. So Workday is very good for companies who are from healthcare. So yeah, you have a lot, and basically you can use Workday for any industry. But then there are certain industries that really prefer Workday, like banking, healthcare, higher education. You have a specific module and configuration available for universities, for schools. Also, you can use Workday. The government agencies can use Workday. One of the agencies like United Nations, they use Workday for their internal system. So you have United Nations like life sciences, manufacturing companies and technology companies, professionals and business services companies. So there are different companies from different industries who use Workday for their ERP. And a lot of Fortune 500 companies have configured and implemented Workday as their ERP system. And yeah, any questions until now? And you can ask me questions. I mean, today's session is a demo session, and Uh, you can use today's session to understand more about like is this course right for you, or if you have any other queries surrounding the course, you can ask me those details today. So apart from those basics of Workday, if you have any other questions that you would like to know before you want to proceed, you can also ask me those questions during this session.
Hey, Nikhil, what do you mean by tenant? Is it like a test environment?
Can you repeat that?
What do you mean by tenant? Is it like a test environment?
So, like I said, Workday is um, a SaaS kind of a system, meaning you will be logging into Workday system using your browser, and tenant is like an instance of Workday. So basically, it's like a test environment, but not exactly just for the test environment. Like it's an instance, like one instance of Workday is called as a tenant, and you can have multiple tenants for the same system. So it's basically like a copy. Like let's say you have an Excel file. I'm just going to give you a very basic example. Let's say you have an Excel file which has all the data. If you copy that Excel file 10 times, you have the exact same copy of that Excel file, 10 exact copies of that Excel file. Now, the main Excel file, you are not making any changes, or you will only make those changes that you know that those changes will work. And let's say these Excel files have a lot of macros and a lot of VBA scripts and a lot of formulas. The main Excel file, you will not make any changes unless you have done those changes in one of the copies of that Excel files, and you make sure that formulas that you're changing is working. So Workday works in a very similar way. You have one tenant instance, which is the production instance. Basically, this is used by all your employees and HRs. And as a consultant, you will be using lower tenants, basically copy of this main instance to configure and test your configurations and make sure those configurations will work. Once you make sure that the configurations are tested properly and it is working, you will move those changes from this particular tenant to the main production tenant. So I'm just trying to give you like what exactly tenant means. It's like an instance of Workday. So it's like when you can have multiple tenants, like you can have 10 tenants, 15 tenants, or you can just have 3 tenants. It again depends upon the client, customer to customer. So each of these tenants is payable, meaning the number of tenants you have to pay as much money to Workday. So some for customers will use some customers do use more than 3 tenants, 4 tenants. They might be having 6 tenants for different purposes. There might be different projects going on simultaneously, and they will be using different tenants to do the configuration and do the testing. So it's like that. So that's what a tenant is, and you will all be also getting an instance of one of these tenants, so that you can and I will also be using one of these tenants to do the demo and you can also practice in these tenants. So, but that's what I mean by a tenant. Yes, in Zaman.
Yeah, the follow-up on that question. So when you say tenants, so is that when you have multiple tenants, when the work is executed, or whatever you do on one tenant is executed on the other, or is it for the load balancing?
It won't be replicated directly. Now, different tenants have different refresh schedules, and we will discuss about the refresh schedules in the upcoming sessions. But for you to understand, it will not be replicated automatically. It depends from the type of tenant. So we call something out as a production tenant. We have a sandbox tenant. We have sandbox preview tenant, and then we have implementation tenant. So there are different types of tenants, and the refresh schedules for these tenants are different. Like some tenants will refresh on a weekly basis, some tenants will only refresh twice in a year, and some tenants will not refresh at all. You have to request a refresh with Workday, and Workday will refresh the tenant for you. So it depends upon the type of tenant that you are using. But no, there is no fixed timeline when a particular tenant will refresh. It depends. And we'll discuss about different types of tenants and when they will refresh and all. I'll give you that information in the upcoming session. Yes.
And, so this is more of a functional consultant role, right? So once
Yes.
you make changes in the tenant, who moves it to production? Is it the same functional analyst?
Yes. You will be the person who will be sole responsibility of configuring, testing, and then moving that to production. Yeah, it will be yourself.
Mm-hmm. Just like refreshers, will there be also like a set downtime windows when you push to production, or is it up to you? You discuss with business and push it to production?
Um, there is a downtime window. I will discuss this in the upcoming
Okay.
sessions now. We will have a session on tenants itself because it's important for you to know this. Very important for you to know this information. So I
Mm-hmm.
will be discussing that. Don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. So is there any topics in core HCM will you cover, or how it could be? Is the topic wise, or how it could be?
So you have, I think you'll be given an LMS, and Irfan will be showing you that LMS. So basically, the course you might already have seen the course catalog for this session. So I will be teaching you all those topics that is mentioned in that particular course. This course will be focused on core HCM. So basically, I will be taking you through the concepts, different concepts of core human capital management module of Workday.
Hi Nikhil, what is the difference between tenant and LMS?
Um, LMS is learning management system. It's different from tenant. Now, um, that's it. I mean, LMS meaning it's a learning management system. You do you know Udemy, right? Have you used Udemy? Udemy is an LMS. It's a learning management system. Um, if you have
Is
used,
it a different
it's
environment
different.
or
It's different. It's different. Entirely different. So even Workday has an LMS. We call it as Workday's LMS. So don't confuse tenant with LMS. LMS meaning learning management system. That's a different thing entirely. Workday is entirely different. The tenant is entirely different. Meaning tenant is an instance of Workday.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, sir, Nikhil, in this training, all the modules will be covered or only for HCM only?
Only HCM. I will only cover HCM module. That will be around 40 hours of training. And any advanced module, if you want to get trained on, that will be a separate. There is a separate course for each of these modules. So if you want to learn recruitment, if you want to learn compensation, there is a separate advanced course just to teach you that particular module. But in core HCM, you will be touching upon all these modules a little. So it's like core HCM is like the core for all these modules. So you need to learn core HCM first, and then if you want to specialize in a specific module, then you can choose to go with any other module that you like to.
Okay. Regarding payroll, recruitment, compensation, in ZaranTech, it will be provided to another. Is there any extra classes is there for that? Any recording sessions? Is there go for this? Or we need to go for any other?
You have to enroll for a different training, but then ZaranTech does have provides advanced sessions on these modules, so you can check with ZaranTech.
Right. No. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask us all the PPTs and the training support material, will it get updated on LMS? Or
Yeah, it will.
Little dumb question. For someone like me who doesn't have any previous background in HR, I just wanted to make a switch after working in biotech, pharma, and medical device for over 14 years. But for someone like me, after taking training, I know if I just go ahead and try interview saying that I just finished training, nobody is going to give me a job.
Yes.
So, like besides HCM, what are the other modules which are in demand, which might be good fit for someone who is new to Workday? Not so technical or not so convoluted.
So you can, and we will discuss about this during our sessions. But to give you a heads up, like there is compensation which is in demand. Recruitment is in demand, is also in demand. So a lot of companies who have implemented Workday recruitment, especially companies that are big, who have a lot of employees, like 10,000, 15,000 employees, they do a lot of recruitment. So those companies, so Workday recruitment is good. Workday absence and time tracking is good. Compensation, advanced compensation is also good. So there is no good modules, there is no bad modules. But then some of the modules that I listed, like HCM, compensation, advanced compensation, recruitment, benefits, these modules are pretty much in demand in Workday. So you will see a lot of companies requiring these specific modules. So most companies will implement these modules for sure. Like HCM is anyway implemented. Compensation is there anyway implemented. Reporting, every company, every implementation, they require custom reports. Now they might be having a dedicated consultant just to build different types of reports in Workday. So reporting is a good module. If the company has implemented time tracking and absence, then definitely they will require a consultant to help with absence and time management for that company. So these are some of the in-demand modules. Other than this, other modules like adaptive planning, finance, payroll, all these are also in demand. So there is no, I cannot just pinpoint saying that this module is good, only learn this module or this module is bad. But then some of the modules that I listed, these are like most widely used. But then there are companies that use a lot of other modules as well. So I cannot just pinpoint one, but to give you like an overview, the modules that I just listed, these are some of the most commonly implemented modules across different clients.
No, I was not like looking for good or bad. Basically, from grasping point of view.
Yeah, I understand. Now, since Workday is not a technical thing, meaning there is no coding, anything involved, it's a configuration. So I think since you have about 14 years of experience, you know how organizations work. So even though you are not from HR, you should at least have that understanding of okay, how the HR functions. Like this is an organization, and in an organization, you know different types of departments that you have. You know how the promotions and the other cycles work in Workday. You know about promotions. You know about transfers. So since you have that much years of experience and you have some background with corporate, you will be able to easily understand the things and the concept that I'm explaining you. And it doesn't really require for you to have a background in HR to understand Workday. I have worked in organizations where we have hired freshers, fresh out of college, and so got them certified in Workday and deployed them on projects, and they have been working pretty much fine. So if someone with 0 years of experience, corporate experience, can work in Workday, I think you can also work with you are like 14 years. So it doesn't matter like how many. It's all about how much did you understand about the functionalities of Workday, and um, how creative you can be with Workday. Since Workday is a configurable system, um, you need to understand what are the client needs, and you also have to understand how to do that consulting work. Basically, ask the right questions, what kind of questions to ask, how to gather the requirements from the client, how to and then configure it, how to test it. So if you have this is basically Workday consulting. It's not very difficult. Workday is easy to learn once you understand it. Initially, you might feel it is a bit confusing, but once you get started using with Workday, once you get start with working on the Workday platform, it just gets easy as you go. So it's not difficult. So you don't have to worry about it. Questions, Zaman?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you one more question regarding the reporting model that you are discussing. So basically, I believe the Workday will have its own reporting template, right? And it also has a reporting model, if I believe, and you also mentioned something about Prism Analytics. So if the users are already getting the pre-configured reports and if they are able to get them, I mean, can you shed some light on how, I mean, what's the purpose of the advanced reporting or the Prism Analytics?
Well, yeah. So Workday provides you with a bunch of standard reports. Different customers will have different requirements. So they want some customizations to these existing reports. So that's when you develop custom reports and custom dashboards. So sometimes what Workday provides will be enough. Sometimes what Workday provides might not be enough. Sometimes they want a few other details along with what currently Workday provides. So in those cases, the customers will create like a custom report and use those reports instead of the Workday delivered reports. So it's pretty common to have custom reports. Like every customer that I have worked on, they do have hundreds of custom reports, like 300, 500. Um, I have also seen 1,500 custom reports. So it depends. Some clients keep on creating these custom reports. They don't use delivered reports, and um, so it's pretty common to have custom reports. Customers who clearly manage the custom reports, meaning they don't create any kind of duplicate reports and all. They still have a few hundreds of reports that need to be configured and maintained. So,
So, So for all these custom reports, we use the advanced reporting or the Prism Analytics. Is that what it is?
Well, Prism Analytics is a very specific requirement. Basically, so Prism Analytics is when, let's say, you have, along with Workday, you have a third-party system which also houses some kind of a data. So maybe it might be a different, whatever type of data it is. You want to bring that particular data into Workday, and along with the existing data in Workday, and you also want to bring that data into Workday and then build a report in Workday, like a consolidated report.
Okay.
So in those cases, you will use Prism Analytics to bring the data from a third-party system into Workday. That is what Prism Analytics is. A very specific requirement. I have not seen a lot of clients. I mean, you will not see Prism Analytics used by every single client. So it's very specific to the client. Some clients use it. I have never configured Prism Analytics, so I don't even have experience with Prism Analytics, but I know what is Prism Analytics.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, guys? If you don't have any other questions, then we'll meet same time tomorrow.
Yeah, Nikhil. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikhil. I'm a very fresh candidate. I have passed out from 2021 batch. If I take training in HCM, this basic training is help to start my career in Workday as a fresher.
Yeah. So you can start with HCM, or you can also learn an advanced module. The thing is, this particular training is absolutely required for you. I mean, without HCM, you won't be able to even proceed with other modules. So it depends upon, generally, and I'll be frank with you, having just HCM knowledge might give you an opportunity to work as a junior consultant. I mean, now, some companies, most companies, or most consultants that you see in the market, they have at least one additional module, or they have experience with multiple modules, but not expert in all. Some people will be like an expert in one module, and they know HCM and an expertise in one module. Some people will have some experience working little on each module. So it is always beneficial to have one additional module. It just increases your chances at employability. And you can look at the existing jobs out there. Go to LinkedIn and search for Workday jobs and see what they are asking for. And based on that, you can plan. So you do that analysis, you do that planning and see which area is interesting, which area is most interesting to you. You can go ahead with specializing in that very specific area. I have personally seen people who specialize have a greater chance at getting a job in Workday. But it doesn't mean that learning HCM is not going to help you. It will definitely help you. And HCM is like absolutely required for you to even understand the advanced modules. Without HCM, you won't even understand it. But then I have from my understanding, if you have some understanding of one additional module other than HCM, it increases your chance of getting a job drastically. So that's my assessment, and so that I would recommend you to learn one more module if you can. But HCM is also absolutely fine. There are companies who hire just based on HCM knowledge, since there are not a lot of consultants available in the market. You will be, companies would still consider hiring you and then getting you trained in a specific model that they want you to be working on. So it's absolutely, HCM is also fine as a fresher, but you can also increase your chances by learning some additional modules as well.
Just to start my work, this HCM would help. That's a basic question.
Yeah, it will.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Nikhil, another follow-up question. I know we are getting trained on this, but do we have to get certified? And what is the cost for certification?
For certification, you cannot get certified. Meaning, certification is not in your hand, and you will not pay for the certification. Company pays for your certification. So if you join a partner company or if you join a customer company, they will pay for the certification on your behalf. So you will not bear the cost of certification, which means that you cannot just get your certification from anywhere outside of the company. So the company should pay for your certification. You cannot yourself do it.
Because whenever you apply for jobs, people usually look for
No,
certification.
no. That used to be the case. Nowadays, no. Nowadays, if you search for jobs, you will see even non-certified consultants. See, if the company is only looking to hire a certified consultant, then there are very less certified consultants in the market right now. There are about in the entire world there is about like 17,000-18,000 certified consultants only altogether, and the job ratio is like 1:4. So for one consultant there is about 4 jobs available, especially in Workday market right now. So you don't need a certification. If companies only look for hiring a certified candidate, either they have to shell out a lot of money to hire people, or but then I'm telling you, right? Certification is not important now. See, there are companies who hire even without certification. If you are joining a partner company, specifically like you want to join Accenture, or if you just want to join PwC, KPMG, they look for certified consultant because they don't want to spend additional money on certification. But then other companies, you don't really need a certification.
But these days it's all about AI, right? So how is that impacting these roles?
No, it doesn't impact right now. At least for the next 10 years, it is not going to impact anything. Like there is no major impacts to AI to Workday. Workday still requires a human to configure it. You have not really AI has. I mean, definitely there is a lot of things going in AI. But my assessment of AI is AI is working well when there is a lot of data basically to train. Now, when it comes to a Workday like system, different customers have different types of config and different types of requirements. And these requirements keep on changing based on the business needs. I don't think AI is capable enough to configure that yet by itself. So don't worry about it. For the next 5, 10, 15 years, I I don't think AI is going to take over in a way that you are going to lose your jobs. Don't worry about it. Even today, I mean AI has. I mean you might be seeing that AI is automatically generating code, but it is not completely replacing a software engineer. It might be reduce the number of people. So when there were 10 engineers required, now there are only 5 of them required because it has increased your productivity. So AI is not a replacement, it is more of an enhancement. It will help you increase your productivity, but it will not replace you completely. You cannot replace yourself completely. It's like a good assistant for you. But don't worry about AI.
I haven't planned for next 15 years, but at least for next 5 years, I don't want this AI nonsense in my job. So that was also another reason I was looking for something which is little stable.
Yeah. So is your current job impacted because of AI?
No, it's not. I'm a program manager on the oncology team. So I work with developers, QA testers, business users. I also work with external vendors. Basically, I do work with business analysts, get the requirements, get the development done, have the entire schedule in place. But I wanted to move into something else because I've been doing this forever now.
But that good that you have this experience.